And welcome back to the broadcast studio and from our IT session on the role of IT today, all the unique ways that Cisco is leading with the experience. Right now, we're going to check out what's been happening all week over at the NOC. Let's go ahead and roll that video.
All right, well, hey guys, I'm over here in the NOC, and Joe Clark, it's always good to catch back up with you at these events. I feel like you've been my go-to person for so many different topics over so many years. But here's we're in the Network Operations Center. I just want to set the stage for anyone that's not familiar with what happens here. You guys, at one level, provide network services for a live event.
We absolutely do. Thank you. Welcome back to Cisco Live. It's good to be talking to you as well. Every year we come out and we build this network ahead of time. I want to take you over here, just give you an idea. We just opened here in the world of solutions. We're already seeing a massive amount of traffic from our users. And these users, so 20 terabytes of traffic passed on the internet. In order to make that work, we have to build a super resilient network. Our mantra here is it's got to work. We don't have the luxury in 5-6 days of having failures, so we do everything we can, not only to highlight the great solutions that Cisco and our partners offer, but we want to do that in a way that's resilient, that we are almost guaranteed that things are going to work and we're going to give those attendees a great experience. And one of the ways we're doing that is with our partner NetApp and building a data center that reflects not only the scale, not only the cool new things, like we're doing generative AI this year to help us out, but also it gives us that performance, that resiliency to give that option of best world-class.
Well, I want to ask you about something, because I feel like I want to just set the stakes correctly for you. Because a lot of times you go to an event and you go, oh, here's the wireless for the event, you figure out what that is, and it's, everyone has low expectations for most events. This is different here, because I want us to remember the audience, because we've been coming to Cisco Live for a long time. Before Cisco Live, it was networkers. It's always been educationally focused, which we need to remember is very engineering focused. So when I think about your audience or the people that you need to make happy, you are doing something that your entire audience probably knows something about how to do. They certainly know when it's not working, and they have better ideas about how to fix it than most of us do. And so they may have opinions about how well you're doing your job. How much does that enter into you and the teams that you guys work with to pull this off, thinking about the fact, oh, these are my peers?
These are my peers. It's the way we do it is by not assuming it's one person's job. We bring a team of experts. You mentioned wireless. We have a large number of wireless subject matter experts that work tirelessly to not only deploy the APs, but to troubleshoot each. I mean, today, there was one AP was Christmas treeing, so just flashing. One AP, and they're on it. They're like, we got to get this one AP fixed. So it's really about recognizing the problems, and we have data center monitoring to be able to help them do that. Recognize the problems earlier, and get out early and get out in front of them before the attendees notice. And we do we watch X, we look at what are people saying about our network. We hope that they're saying great things, but if not, we're there. We're willing to take feedback, we're willing to take input, and we're going to act on it. We're going to give them that experience that they're looking for.
Well, and one thing is you're not just about providing access to internet so I can get my email. You guys are actually supporting a lot of partners, and not just Cisco, with all the demonstrations that are very network. They rely on the network. These things are not self-contained. We are very dependent on some type of cloud access, to use a generic term. So I just think it's interesting. I think it's a high wire act that you guys continue to pull off, and you guys continue to kind of work together. You also work with a lot of students.
Yes, we do.
And really bringing up a lot of talent, giving them a chance to be hands-on and learn, well, how do you use this gear in a live situation with all that entails?
We try to bring on new people every year. We try to build a world-class team that we can bring back year after year, and we can grow them. We've had people who started here in the NOC as just deploying APs. They're now part of the architecture and core team. So we're absolutely reflecting what you said, networkers, education. We reflect that in our team in the Network Operations Center. And we like stress. We're a little bit crazy too.
That's so funny. I wonder if you could hand your mic over to Bobby, because we're going to bring him in for just a second. But guys, I'm going to introduce Bobby in just a second, because we do want to talk about NetApp. But physically, if you're at the event, you need to come here. This is the pretty part of the NOC where they have the screens and people that are dressed nicely to answer questions. There's a huge group of people behind the scenes that are doing the work of keeping this up and running, monitoring it continually, doing, of course, all the setup and all the teardown and plowing all their learning into what's going to happen next. But I want to bring in one of the foundations for resilience at this event. It's been this way for years, Bobby. I've always enjoyed talking with you.
Thanks for having me.
You represent NetApp, and we've got a live shot of your Flex pod here. I wonder if you could tell me what we're looking at, and what do I mean by live shot?
Absolutely. Let me give a little background about FlexPod. So it's a versatile solution from Cisco and NetApp. We've been doing this for the past 15 years, right? As Joe was talking about, we are talking about resiliency. We don't have room for error. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to make sure this works. So it's not just blinky lights, right? It works. What? So I have this redundant components already part of the FlexPod solution. It's a pre-validated.
Right.
I could run any workloads on it because the adaptability which provides by the NetApp storage operating system provides that. Joe was talking about running Splunk. He was talking about running AI. And with the X Series solution, it's modular.
Nice.
You have a compute node. How do you go AI to help the data scientists? You plop in a PCIe node with GPUs, which will enable you to start your AI journey. So,
well, you know, what Joe had mentioned something about generative AI being kind of a different source of traffic and a load on the system. Is that part of NetApp and what you guys are doing this time?
Exactly. So what we ensure is as we Splunk or run Splunk or any other workloads, as I was telling about the adaptability given by storage operating system, gives customers the ability to run anything.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, he was talking about the resiliency mantra.
Yeah.
Now we have the NetApp Metro Cluster solution. We've been doing this for the past 10 years. We have a second side. We continuously replicate the data. We ensure that the user's data gets protected all the time. Again, it comes along with the solution. On top of it, we have this one call support from a customer user's FlexPod. They wanted to make sure that with one number, they could get all the support needed to support the whole solution. So as I was telling earlier, it's one stack, fully automated. Users can deploy the stack by running some of the Ansible automation developed by both NetApp and Cisco. Also, we have Cisco Intersite integration done, single pane of glass, where customers could monitor everything. And as you can see on some of the things on the screen.
Yeah, this is live monitoring of what you've got going on right now, correct?
This is live feed, right? So as I was saying, it's not just the blinky lights, it works. Joe was talking about 20 terabytes of data which is generated through the network. The management VMs are running on NetApp storage system. Again, the pre-validated architecture gives the customers, partners, the ability to deploy stuff without doing any guesswork.
Yeah.
Because our goal is to give the business outcome. As Joe was telling, for the past 10 years, we've been doing this for EMEA as well as US. I have two systems. The way I say is, over these 10 years, maybe 400 to 500 connections where we've served it. Without any issues, right? The resiliency mantra, what he was talking about. So that's what exactly I was talking about, the business outcome. The pre-validated solution, it works. You don't have to do any guesswork.
Well, I wonder if we could just take an extra moment here, because when I think about convergence and I think about different things that happen, you know, UCS, of course, alone represents a lot of convergence in terms of how we used to think about processing and what that was connected to. You guys have taken that a step further and continue to make this part of your business model around saying, how do we take all these complex systems that need to work intelligently together, you pre-validate them, as you mentioned, so you're pre-architecting something that's going to do a lot of complex things in as simple a manner as possible. And that's what you're saying you continue to do here, now that you've added Intersite, and you've got different management interfaces, we're running generative AI. A lot of that would be a lot more difficult if we were doing that from scratch every single time, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, our goal is not to sell components, right? Yeah. Our goal is to sell solutions. That is the only way I could...
What do you want to achieve?
Yes, that's the only way I could give business outcome, right? So that's what we say. It's pre-validated. I can create repeatable building blocks using the automation story we built in.
Yeah.
I could get the same user experience when I look into my dashboard. I can put multiple systems over there, whether I look at the NetApp dashboards or the Intersite dashboards or any other dashboard which I'm integrating my systems into.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Well, Bobby, is there anything else that we wanted to make sure is covered?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's good to talk to you again. Guys, there's no shortage of candy for engineers at a show like this, right? Because this is your peers, this is a chance to learn from others. But over here at the NOC, this is where you've got people like Bobby and a lot of others that are here to answer your realistic actual questions about, well, what's different this year? What is being done well? What's not being done well? What did you learn so far? If anything, they're willing to share. Trust me, further along in the week, they get a lot more open about what they can share because we get toward the end of that. This is a great place. Come join us at the NOC, ask questions, figure out what's going on. This is Rob. Thank you, guys.